So today I am joined by the founder and one of our amazing judges of the Prospect Music Award, EJ Scanlan.
Hi.
And today we're going to have a little bit more of an in-depth chat about each of our artists, which have now been announced for this year's lineup. If you haven't seen the video already, we'll link it down in the description somewhere. So go and check that out before you watch this video, because otherwise it won't make sense. And we're also going to have a little bit of a chat about why these nominees in particular were chosen, the kind of process that goes on. So if you're interested in hearing a little bit more about the behind the scenes of Prospect, then keep on watching. First off, what kind of characteristics do you think you're looking out for when you're thinking about who you're going to nominate?
That's a really tough question, but I think the main thing I look for is potential. Like, who's different? Who's eclectic enough? In regards to this year, like, we were taking a look at a lot of indie bands and stuff like that. A lot of them just sounded exactly the same as each other.
Yeah.
And so because of that, it didn't really work. The indie bands that we chose this year were all quite unique in their own way. So you have like Yard Act that are very politically charged, and you've got Courting as well, who really know like what they're talking about and everything like that. And obviously you've got Wet Leg as well, which is probably one of the wittiest bands out there.
Very different.
For me, it's what's unique about that artist.
Yeah.
What's different, what is marketable, what's sellable.
Yeah.
But also who's got that potential, because there's a lot of acts this year as well that are only just starting out, even though they've only got a couple of songs to their name. They've got this thing about them that's just so
something different, something
exactly.
that stands out. Because I mean, you know, we nominate a lot of indie artists, but indie is such a like broad umbrella term. Because if you're going to compare somebody like a band like New Dad to someone like Courting,
two very different things.
They are very different, exactly, but that's something that we love about Prospect. Speaking of the nominees, if we're going to cast our mind back to like past nominees, were there any nominees that when you heard them for the first time, you thought, oh my god, I have to nominate them for Prospect?
Years and Years.
Really?
Straight up.
I love Years and Years.
Yeah, they're brilliant. So when they were a band, obviously it's Ollie Alexander now.
Yeah.
But I saw them supporting Clean Bandit and absolutely fell in love with them. I was amazed at like the synth dance pop sound that they had, and instantly it was there. But a lot of artists as well, I wasn't initially a fan of at first. So like there's a band called Wolf Alice that came second in that very year. They were good, they were marketable. Now they're one of my favourite bands of all time. Yeah. Like, again, I still can't understand why I didn't appreciate them as much.
Yeah.
It was the same with a lot of artists. Arlo Parks as well. I've really began to appreciate. It was like it was more to do with when me and the judges were actually discussing. It was her impeccable songwriting that did it for me.
Yeah.
And there's tons.
Yeah, because I feel like with certain artists, you don't necessarily have to be like a fan of them to appreciate their, like on you know, each Prospect lineup this year included, you know, I obviously have to listen to like their songs and read about them and learn about them so that I can create the videos about them. And there's artists in the lineup where I wouldn't probably necessarily listen to them on a daily basis, but sort of like listening to their music and watching their music videos and listening to the kind of stuff that they're producing, I can appreciate that as like a talent in itself. I don't necessarily have to be like a fan, but I can appreciate what they're doing, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like with Lewis Capaldi. Like, I personally really don't like him.
I love Lewis Capaldi.
What is wrong?
We're gonna have a fight.
Prospect wise, he's perfect. But I think the reason why he was nominated is because he had that potential to near enough take over the world, and well,
he did pretty much.
Yeah, on one album.
Yeah.
It's really impressive.
Crazy.
Like, you can't deny that he is well and truly done some incredible things, and George Ezra as well.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a massive George Ezra fan, but he's got some bop.
Again, that voice for me, as soon as I heard it, I was like, this is amazing. Yeah. Like, this is perfect. This is so different. It's kind of like channeling a lot of older music in regards to his voice, but bringing it into like a modern setting. His debut single was Did You Hear the Rain, I think it was called, and still one of my favourite songs of all time.
Are there any nominees from this year's lineup that you had any of those kind of feelings about? Anybody that really stood out to you for the first time when you first heard them?
Frances Baker. Her first show was actually in Nottingham. She went to support Aloya Parks, who I am a big fan of. Yep. As soon as I heard her, I was transfixed by her.
Was that where you heard her for the first time, was when she was supporting Aloya? Yeah.
Yeah, like she hadn't released any songs at that point. I have never been more excited about a new artist. But yeah, I think New Dad as well. As soon as I first heard their style, I was in love with them. I thought they were fantastic, and obviously it's a lot to sell out like your first ever tour on only one EP.
Yeah, there's got to be something special there to do that.
Really, absolutely.
Are there any past nominees that have surprised you in how well they've done? I mean that in the best way possible. But was there anyone that was a nominee and that you thought they're good, but then actually really went on to like be something big?
That's hard. I think on initial impressions, Aloya Parks, I wouldn't have expected her to have the amount of success that she did.
Yeah.
When she won, I saw it. I think Nothing But Thieves as well. I was a big fan of them for a long time. The Prospect nomination was the cherry on top for me, and I thought, oh, these guys are doing something nice. And then they released their second album, like Broken Machine, which absolutely blew me away. And they've just headlined the O2 recently. So I wouldn't have expected that.
Are there any artists that you knew would end up doing well?
Billie Eilish.
For sure.
Yeah. No doubt about it. I think hearing Billie for the first time, I was certain she was going to do something
big.
Yeah. I think the first time I heard her was again on the BBC Sound Of list, and it was Bellyache. I was amazed. That level of talent at such a young age. Like, since then, she has completely revolutionised not just the pop music genre, but the music industry as a whole.
So we've spoken a little bit about some of our past nominees. Let's have a look a little bit more in depth at our current nominees, which have just been announced today as we're filming this. So let's start with Griff.
Griff was actually, so this is like top secret stuff. I've never revealed any of this.
Oh my god, it's the exclusive. We're getting an exclusive, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Griff was considered last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh. Why did she make it last year?
I was on the side that she should have done. The rest of the judges were on the side.
You were outvoted.
I was outvoted. I was outvoted with a lot of shit last year. I think the reason why she wasn't nominated last year is because she hadn't really shown what she could do. This year has completely changed that. Black Hole is
That's such a good song. I love that song.
Yeah, that is pop perfection. And obviously with the Brits Rising Star,
she's climbing up the ladder a little bit more now.
Yeah, and exactly, and that performance was actually one of the best of the night, I think, at the Brits.
Yeah, I agree.
Even though she's still kind of got that traditional pop aesthetic, I still think that she can do so much. Like Taylor Swift is a fan of her.
Yeah, she has an incredible voice. Really good.
Really, absolutely, and I think her production's really good, and I think she can definitely take over the world.
She definitely has the potential.
Definitely.
And that's what we're looking for at Prospect.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on to something a little bit different. Yard Act. What have you got to say about them?
Okay, Yard Act were also considered last year.
Oh, all the exclusive.
I'll be honest, I wasn't a fan of Yard Act last year. Will, executive producer and one of our judges last year, was a massive fan. For me, I knew there was something there, but I didn't really see it. The reason why we sometimes don't put artists up for the 25 is because I don't think they're ready yet, or we don't think they're ready. Like, we wanted them to take a year to see what they could do. Now look at them.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a year.
Yeah, exactly, and their lyrics are fantastic. The Dark Days EP is brilliant, absolutely fantastic. I think they're going to be really big on like the independent British music scene as well. So
next up, let's have a chat about Della XOZ. Correct me if I'm wrong, I would say she's probably like the smallest artist in terms of like an online following and in terms of like stuff that she's got out. Yeah, definitely. She's also the youngest nominee this year. She's only 17 years old. Wow. How we keep looking through Prospect, how we discover artists, obviously people can submit artists to us, but we also look at a ton of playlists and everything like that. A song by Della XOZ came up, like I was just there like listening to it, I was like, this is something new, this is something different, this is unique. This is
brilliant. This is actually one of my favourite songs of the year.
Really?
It's amazing. Like, the production is sensational. She just understands, like, production and what it really takes to be there. I think she will definitely be big on TikTok, and like in regards to like some of the sounds that she can create and do. Like, this is only just the start of her, I think.
Yeah, I think that is the thing about Prospect. We sort of take on, nominate artists who are going viral. They've got their like first hit. They're on the way to like stardom or whatever you want to call it. But then there's the people who are sort of like simmering below the surface. They're creating really great stuff just like on their own, with just putting their passion into it. And I feel like Della is 100% one of those people. Definitely,
like, because we like to do that a lot, but we only like to really do that if they have that potential.
Yeah.
Can they do it? Della absolutely can. She's brilliant.
Olivia Dean. What are you going to say about her?
She's an artist that's been on my radar for a few years. She's been considered for Prospect before. For me, what sold it was I went to All Points East Festival. One of my friends, her name's Lily, she's lovely. She loves this artist and we had to go see her. So I was amazed. I loved the vibe that she gave off. Her live presence, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And so I went back, I listened to some of her stuff and was like, I've got this artist all wrong. This isn't just like a mediocre, middle of the road kind of artist. This is someone who can really do something and be really special to a lot of people.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time for her to be nominated, I think.
We've got a jazz band, everyone.
Yeah, finally! Finally we've got jazz!
Steam Down. Where did you come across Steam Down, and why do you think they were the jazz band to make it to Prospect finally?
So, I have been a big fan of jazz music since 2016. I came across a band called The Comet's Coming, and so from there I've been kind of getting into more different sorts of jazz, and I came across Steam Down. I heard a song called Free My Skin. It's the only song in their discography. I was like, this is different, this is unique, this is combining not just jazz but everything. Hip-hop, R&B, reggae.
Yeah.
It sounds fantastic. They were very nearly considered going on last year as well. But again, I was just about to see where this band goes.
Yeah.
And this year they have absolutely blew my mind. Everyone else who we've spoken to about the lineup absolutely loves them. Like, Can't Hold Me Back, like you wouldn't expect like a grime track within jazz. The amount of musicality that they bring. This is the perfect jazz band to put in Prospect, because this is something different. It's not just different, it's revolutionary. And as a massive jazz nerd myself, these guys are perfect for Prospect. I discovered jazz through the Mercury Prize. Prospect was semi-inspired by the Mercury Prize. We had to have some jazz in here. We just needed to wait for the right band and the right time.
And these are the right guys.
And this is the right time.
Yeah. Moving on to Martha Skye Murphy. Very different artist.
I first came across Martha Skye Murphy when I heard Narrator by Squid, the lead single to their sensational debut album, Bright Greenfield. I thought she was fantastic, so I was like, okay, let's go into some of her solo discography. And I heard Yours Truly and was blown away. I then heard the Yours Truly EP, which was nominated for the Prospect EP of the Year, the first Prospect EP of the Year that we've ever done. The soundscapes this woman can do is beyond anything I've ever heard before. Yes, it's maybe a bit weird and obscure, but I love that. I love that in an artist. She's kind of got like that Ashley Cole vibe from last year. You either love this or you fucking hate it.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the Prospect EP of the Year, some of our judges loved this, others hated it. I think her sound and what she can do is really different, and I think she can create an album that is really special, really unique, and that can revolutionise what music is, because she's really good at creating like this tense ambience. She's just fantastic. I have never seen anything like it before.
And she is like the perfect Prospect nominee. I guess like the point of Prospect is we're representing people from all walks of life, all genres, all levels of experience, and there's always going to be people on the list that, like I said at the beginning, you might not necessarily like. You might find them a bit weird and you wouldn't listen to them like on the regular, but you can still like truly appreciate what they're putting out into the world and the passion that they're putting out into their music. And I 100% get that with Martha, for sure. Moving on to Brie Runway, who has just been nominated for the Brit Rising Star Award.
Yes,
we can finally
has.
announce that.
Yes, finally.
Ahead of the curve, aren't we?
We really are.
Beat you, Brit Awards. Ha.
Well, technically they beat us because they announced it before us, but we had it there.
We had her on the list first. Our announcement date was just after this.
First time I heard her, I was really intrigued by her. I think I said this to you. I feel like that she's the British answer to Doja Cat. Like,
I see that.
Yeah, like, again, her versatility in her styles of music as well. They still have that Brie Runway stamp against her, but like ATM is very different to Hot Hot. That Brit nomination proves that.
Yeah, give her the opportunity to be discovered by more people.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if we've got to remain impartial, but let's talk about Wargasm.
I know what you're going to say to this.
I love Wargasm.
I love Wargasm too.
Yeah! Wargasm are doing something crazy. They're doing something crazy. So when did you first discover Wargasm?
Through playlists. And I was like, oh, this is different, this is unique. But never really came back to it. And then I went to Download Festival this year. I saw you there as well. I was blown away by them. I thought it's not something you would expect to see at Download. This is the first metal band we've ever included. How they utilise different genres and make it so unique to them.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't just any band, this is Wargasm.
Yeah.
They played Bodega recently. I have heard only good things from that show and...
They sold out the whole tour.
That's incredible.
I wanted to go to Nottingham so bad, and I swear to God they sold it out within like a week. It was like the first date that they sold out, and I was like, I can't go.
It's crazy.
I've seen them twice, and they were both at festivals, and that's a whole different vibe to when you're at somewhere small like the Bodega.
Yeah, like that's...
But I feel like they have that stage presence, unlike any other like artist, that whether they're on a big stage at a festival or whether they're on a small stage like Bodega or Rock City or whatever, they can command that audience. Being a duo as well, like there's not that many duos out there, especially in like metal and rock. And
obviously there's Nova Twins, but
I love Nova Twins.
Same. These guys are gonna be massive.
And at the Download Festival, they weren't like headliners or anything, but I feel like they had the best sort of like crowd response. To say that they've only been around for like what 2-3 years,
something like that,
there was just something about that crowd that felt like completely different to anything else. Let's move on to Zaizai.
Zaizai has been considered for Prospect for quite a few years now.
Really?
I really like his sound. Obviously Fine Girl was massive and he still seems to have kept that interest, and his sound is undeniably brilliant. It's like his fusion of multiple different genres and multiple musical styles from all around the world. I'm a big fan of him.
Because I've got to say, I can't believe I never heard of him. Because like Fine Girl, when I watched the music video, it had like something like 2 million views or maybe more. It was a lot. And then he did a song with H as well.
Yeah.
I was like, why have I never heard of him before? He was one of the ones where I wouldn't necessarily have expected going into listening to all the artists as somebody that I would like, but I really like him.
Yeah,
he's really good.
Yeah, same here. Like, I generally love all types of music, but the genre I'm not particularly as fond with, it's more like rap and hip hop. I love him. I think he's absolutely fantastic.
Francis Baker, I would say one of your faves. If we've got to remain impartial, then no, but
no.
I guess she's probably one of your faves. I don't think you can hide your love for Francis Baker.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about Francis.
I love her. The very first time I heard her, just something clicked. The level of maturity of her songs, but also the incredible production. She's absolutely fantastic. And to be supporting someone as big as Aloya Hallelujah, to have her first show in the UK when she's from Nashville, it's absolutely fantastic. And to say as well that the only person that's not come from the UK and Ireland, that I think is saying something. Like, she's got just this beautiful voice, this incredible production. She's going to go on to do some amazing things in the future. And I think the more people that hear her, the bigger she's going to grow.
Okay, moving on to somebody, I guess, who's a little bit similar to Frances. CMAT. What we got to say about CMAT?
I hated CMAT at first.
Really?
I'm sorry, CMAT, but I really didn't like her at
Shade.
first. At the same time, there's a lot of artists that I didn't really... some of my favourite bands now that I really didn't like at first.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was a big Jessie J fan growing up. I hated Jessie J at first. The reason why CMAT's in is because her voice is one of the most unique voices I've ever heard.
Yeah, she is so different.
Yeah, you can't compare. Like, yes, you can compare, like, her styles, like, okay, maybe she sounds like this artist, or maybe her style sounds like this artist, but in vocals, you cannot compare her. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like you know where you were the first time you heard Adele. You know where you were the first time you heard Amy Winehouse. Like, some really distinctive voices that have gone on to take over the world, and CMAT is in that category. I actually love CMAT now. Mm-hmm. I think she's brilliant. She went on to support Declan McKenna as well, so that was good.
She's one of those artists that knows how to create good music, but also like viral music that people are going to get like hooked on. She wrote, what is the song called? And it references the Vine. I Want to Be a Cowboy, Baby.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Vine. And the fact that she includes those kind of like Gen Z culture references in her music. Right, moving on. Wet Leg. They've recently announced an album coming out soon, right?
Self-titled debut album.
Exciting times.
8th of April, I think it is. Cannot wait for it. I honestly cannot wait for it. Chaise Long is literally taking over the world.
I've got to tell you, when I was looking at clips to put in the nominee announcement video, obviously I included clips from that. That song has been in my head for about 5 days now. I'm not joking. It's been stuck in my head. It's so catchy.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love how witty they are. Like, one of my favourite lyrics from Chaise Long is your mother worried? Would you like us to assign someone to worry your mother? But yeah, so we have like this tongue-in-cheek vibe, but it's still so sophisticated. Yeah. And it works in so many different ways. Like, and you think, oh, they can't top that. Wet Dream, amazing. Like, they're great songwriters. They're just a great all-round indie band. Yeah. They're going to be massive. And they released 2 songs recently from the album. Really good. These guys are something special.
I think so too. Courting. Now, they were nominated for the Prospect EP of the year.
Yeah.
What was it about them that stood out to you?
Just their uniqueness, I think. For me, Courting just have this really fresh, unique vibe. Grand National is fantastic. The EP was that close to winning.
Really?
It was very, very close.
It's a good EP.
It's a very good EP. Crass is probably one of my favourite songs of the year. Like, the honest lyrics within that, the very provocative sound.
That is something that they do really well.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, you can argue that there's a ton of bands like that, but no band really executes that sound better than Courting, in my opinion. I think they're absolutely brilliant.
I can see them doing really well at festivals.
Yeah.
I feel like they've got that kind of music that's good live, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Very angsty, very energetic.
And they just supported Sports Team on tour as well.
Next up, let's talk about Ennie.
I am in love with this woman.
So am I. I think she's great.
I mentioned this before, but I went to All Points East Festival in the summer, and she was the second act on. Live, she was sensational. The vibe that she gives is brilliant. Like, she's such an empowering artist. She's such an empowering woman. Like, her bars are so unique. Honestly, like, Pain Black Girls is one of my favourite songs.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah. But then at the same time, you've got, like, I Want, which is more of, like, it's kind of got that nostalgic feel to it, like what RAE gave last year. And this is the rapper that we need in our time. I think she's going to do very, very well in the future. And I will go as far to say probably my favourite rapper out there in the British music scene right now.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a big claim.
Yeah, she's absolutely fantastic. She's a great songwriter. She's a great rapper, great performer. Her sound is so nostalgic yet modern. what more can you ask?
Yeah.
But what I love as well is like how she's just proud of like herself, and she's proud of...
Yeah, you really get that from her like videos and stuff too.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She's absolutely amazing.
So let's move on to like another smaller artist, Smooth Boy Ezra. Where did you come across them?
I came across Smooth Boy Ezra, I think it was on a playlist again, I think. I was amazed at their beautiful soundscapes. So I have a radio show called Perspective Sounds, and we have a section that's called Artist of the Week. Smooth Boy Ezra was our very first Artist of the Week. There's a reason for it. Well, their lyrics are fantastic. They're very incredibly relatable. Obviously, we've got like that Dodie bedroom pop sort of vibe. Also more of that traditional indie flair as well. They can do anything.
We love an artist like that. They can do anything.
Really do.
Yeah. And as well, that, like you mentioned, that sort of bedroom pop Dodie sound is very popular. It has its own, like, niche, and within that niche, the people go crazy for it. I could definitely see them supporting Dodie. Right, moving on to another fabulous artist, Shy Girl.
Yeah, I think she's brilliant. She knows sound very, very well. She's a really impeccably intelligent woman. She understands sound, she understands, like, the music industry, and that shows within the songs that she's got.
Yeah.
Is it BD with Slow Tie?
Yes.
Really different vibe to something like Cleo, for example. I cannot wait to hear her debut album. I'm definitely a fan of hers.
I feel like she's that kind of artist that she knows not what's popular, but what the people want to hear.
Yeah.
She's very much modern, and she's on top of the trends, and she knows who she is and how she can like incorporate all of those things together.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's talk about Talk Show. What do you got to say about them? I really like Talk Show. I'd never heard of them before, but now I'm a fan.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I first discovered Talk Show through Will because he'd just broken up with his girlfriend at the time, and he got like, and I asked to have a look at his Tinder bio, and that was his anthem. Like, well, for Song Faster Now was his anthem. I heard it and was like, this is really something.
Yeah.
This is great. And this year was the first year they were really considered, and I think what pushed it over the edge for me was Underworld. What a sensational track.
The way that they sing, it's very like spoken word mixed with like punk and indie.
Yeah.
It's not something that is around that much, I don't think.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, you can definitely get that Joe Talbot, like, from Idols. Like, you can tell that there's kind of that little bit of inspiration there, but at the same time, it's not like copying either. It's
Yeah, they really make it their own.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we spoke a little bit about BERWYN at the start.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you discovered him through, it was the Sound Of list as well. What have you got to say about BERWYN?
I enjoyed Demo Tape Vega as well, his debut mixtape. That was then nominated for the Mercury Prize, and re-listened to it and was like, actually, this is solid. It's really, really good. And I was lucky enough to go to the Mercury's this year, and then he did a performance of Glory, and goosebumps down the back of my spine. Like, the only act that night besides the winner's announcement that got a standing ovation.
Wow.
It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
It was beautiful to watch. Yeah, I think he's fantastic. I think he's definitely a one of a kind. He's really good at like combining like hip hop with other genres, but at the same time he can do songs like Rubber Band, which are a little bit more vibey but work at the same time. And then you've got Ashtray, which is like a proper like mosh pit song in a way. He's just brilliant. He's gonna go very, very far. And like I say, because he was the first act to be nominated for the Mercury Prize with a mixtape, that particular rule with the Mercury Prize has been there for as long as I can remember. He's the first artist to do it. That explains a lot to me. Elle
Devine.
Okay.
Where did you first listen to her, and what do you think about her sound?
I first heard Elle Devine quite a few years ago. Elle Devine, this is their 4th year being considered for Prospect.
Oh my gosh, about time.
Yeah, I was going to say, definitely about time.
Her name rings a bell, and I can't figure out where I've heard her before, but I've definitely heard her somewhere. It might have been on TikTok.
She's a real provocative pop star that says exactly what she wants to say, but makes it sound great. I'd say she's definitely the most, like, the poppiest artist on the list this year. She's just got this energy about her. You could have a song like Girls Like Sex, but then have a song like Die on the Dance Floor, which is a little bit more mellow, but you can literally get anything with her.
Okay, moving on to one of the artists that I personally absolutely fell in love with, Aloya.
Oh, Aloya.
I just have to put this out there right now. I was watching her music videos and I was like, how can a person be this stunning? She's like...
She's gorgeous.
Insane. And so talented. She's really like bringing something different to the table, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Like, she did a track with Moses Boyd, who's this amazing jazz musician who I'm a big fan of, and like they collaborated on a song together, and that's the first time I heard her name, and then I listened to the rest of her discography. I remember hearing this amazing sound. I was just like, this is great, this is boppy, this is current, this is fresh. It works on so many different levels. At the same time, like, she released Spirit X, and that was even better. She just keeps getting better and better and better, and obviously she's supporting Little Sims at the moment, and gutted I'm going to miss that show because I want to see Aloya as well. She is definitely going places, and yeah, I think she's brilliant. She's just, again, got this real energy and real vibe, and she's going to do very well.
Yeah, I really love the way she incorporates her like culture and her heritage as well into her music. That's always something nice to see.
Oh, definitely.
Really sets her apart and shows her like personality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another act who was nominated for the EP of the year, New Dad.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
They are just beautiful human beings who create beautiful music. Waves is one of my favourite EPs. I can't remember her name on the top of my head, but the vocalists, her vocals are just sensational. Absolutely beautiful. She seems to tell this story with the way that she sings and with like the songwriting as well, but the rest of the band, they just have this really nice chemistry. I actually would say it's probably some of the best chemistry from any of the bands on this list this year. They've got their second tour coming up. First time they're playing Nottingham, and they're not even playing Bodega, which is like usually where you would play if you're a new artist. They're skipping straight to Rescue Rooms, which is like way bigger. I'm definitely going to go to that show, and I can't wait to see them.
What was it about New Dad that you think sets them apart from like other indie bands?
I think it's just their sound. Yeah, you could have bands that do the same sort of things, but their execution is second to none. The instrumentation, the songwriting, everything about them works, and they're absolutely magical.
That is a good word to describe them, magical. I feel like I got that kind of vibe listening to their EP. It is very magical.
Yeah, like a real like chill vibe in a way that still keeps you intrigued.
For sure. Moving on to somebody polar opposite to someone like New Dad, Lynx.
Batshit crazy.
Absolutely batshit crazy, but in the best way possible.
Oh yeah. I didn't know what to think of Lynx the first time
Neither did I.
saw them. The first time I ever heard of Lynx was at Download, because they came on to perform with Frank Hart and the Rattlesnakes. Listened to more of their stuff and I was like, this is different. This is interesting. This is something that I haven't really heard done before. Like, I love how gay it is, if I'm being honest.
It's so gay.
Yeah, so brilliant. Yeah. Like, it's so camp, so euphoric, and it's brilliant. It's a celebration of what it means to be in the LGBTQ plus community. Very tongue-in-cheek in regards to their lyrics. I actually got a ticket to see them next year.
Really?
Yeah.
Where are they performing?
Bodega.
Nice.
Yeah, but
that's going to be a good show. Again, they're another one of them artists where it's a whole different experience seeing them live.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you wouldn't expect an artist like Lynx to be performing with Frank Hart and the Rattlesnakes. Two completely different genres, but they just work. Go Get a Tattoo.
That's a bop. I love that song.
But that shows their versatility as well.
I think they're one of the standout artists in terms of somebody who is so different in this lineup. I think they're probably, one of the most different. Because
obviously last year we had Ashniko, who is definitely batshit crazy,
yeah.
and she ended up winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, Lynx.
Anything can happen. Right, next up is Ivorian Doll. Now, I'd never heard of her before, but listen to her tracks. She's really good.
She really is. Definitely a rapper that needs to be heard more. Her lyrics are great. I can see a lot of people really liking her. Big favourite at Wireless Festival. She's really leading the way for female rappers within the grime genre.
I was going to say that too. Yeah. She is definitely a standout for sure. There's so many women doing rap and grime that just don't get the appreciation that they deserve purely for the fact that they are women. And someone like Ivorian Doll is really paving the way and showing that you can be a woman and you can be graceful and proud of your femininity, but you can also be strong and powerful and passionate and have that kind of like the same level of talent that male grime artists do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She's for sure a standout.
As soon as I see like any sort of female rapper, I'm just there like, yes, perfect.
Support.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pip Millett. What have we got to say about Pip Millett? Where were you when you first heard Pip Millett?
I only discovered Pip Millett really very recently.
Really?
So it was a few months back. I had to do a song with Getz that absolutely blew me away. Her very honest lyrics about like her struggles were absolutely beautiful to listen to, and the way that she goes about those lyrics and the way that she executes them within her tracks is absolutely fantastic. Like, she is already starting to get quite well known within the R&B scene. I think she needs to be more recognised. I don't have a bad word to say about her. She might even be a dark horse this year.
Ooh, I don't know. Horse. What do you think it is about her that like sets her apart from other people in her genre?
I think it is those lyrics.
The lyrics.
I think it's that. I think it's I think her sound as well. Her real beautiful graspy vocals. Mostly I think it is those lyrics.
So finally we've reached our last artist on the list. Probably one that a lot of people have heard of if you're somebody who is online a lot, like myself, no shame in it.
TikTokers,
gotta love them. PinkPanthress, our final nominee. What have you got to say about PinkPanthress? Did you hear her on TikTok for the first time? Or was it before?
I don't use TikTok. I don't use TikTok, but I think I was sent a video. I was like, okay, this is interesting. And I delved into her more and was like, hold on a second. This is something quite special here. This is something that she did over lockdown.
Yeah, I think I read where it said she was at university at the time and was just creating like beats in her bedroom on a garage band.
She's very different in the fact that none of her songs surpass 2.5 minutes. Which I think is a brave move, but I think it's a fantastic move at the same time. Her mixtape is brilliant. I think you described her as like new nostalgic, I think. And you can definitely see that. Like, you've got like the nostalgic tones, but it feels so now.
Yeah.
She is going to do so well. If this is what she can do with 10 tracks to her name, like 10 very small, like short tracks to her name. What is she gonna do now?
Still super young too.
Exactly.
And these things that she's just creating on her own in her bedroom with like no production team or equipment or anything. She really is something special, like you said. And I feel like I get that sort of similar vibe with Shy Girl. They're in terms of their sound and the way that they're both very modern and Gen Z.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a lot to come from PinkPanthress, I think.
I think so too.
I'm really excited to see what she can do, and I'll be very shocked if she's not in the final.
Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Do you want to give us a quick reminder on how and where people can vote?
Yeah, so I've got to remember all this, but we're going to try it. Voting's open. It's open till 11:59 p.m. on Thursday, the 16th of December. And you can vote by going online to our website, prospect-music-award.webnode.co.uk. We were very late getting a website. And you can find all the details there. You can also vote by going to our Linktree page. There is a link to Hannah's amazing announcement video. We've got a link to a Spotify playlist where you can hear like all of the artists in full. There's also a little video on there which gives you like 25 seconds of each artist, and you can watch that.
Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this gave you a little bit more of an insight into the behind the scenes of Prospect, how we sort of find our artists, decide who to nominate. So yeah, thank you so much. Make sure you get your votes in, follow us across all our social media. The links will be in the description or somewhere around here. Thank you for joining me today for this chat.
Thank you for interviewing me. Thank you for watching, because I didn't think anyone would actually want to hear me ramble, but here we are. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Bye guys.
Bye.